Shalom, shalom, kalalal, Yahweh Shemel Shai. All praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh Shemel Shai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of Jemes. To you, I say shalom. You know, that do rule well and that do teach well. May Yahweh Shemel Shai be with you in the spirit. Shalom to you, Akim, that are in the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity, and not for vainglory, man. Alright, so I just want to go into some headlines here, some current events that link with biblical prophecy. And obviously, man, I'm going to talk about the MOTB. Can't stress that enough, man, because it's about to be made mandatory. It's right around the corner. And this world is transitioning into a cashless society. All the different governments of the world are doing so. So that's going into that enterprise, man, that NWO. And you don't take that chip. Don't take that MARK if you believe in Yahweh Bashem Yoshai. If you take that MARK, you're going to become an antichrist. All right. So, anyways, this article focuses on Canada, and that's where that's in my neck of the woods. And Canada is about to go digital. They're going to do it, and they're going to follow suit with all the other beast nations. And just remember, Canada is a part of the beast. I believe they're one of the founding members of the beast, which is NATO and the EU, but NATO primarily, right? So they're one of the first 12 founding members that are a part of NATO. So they're down with the game. They're down with the plan. They're right behind America, all right, and rightfully so, because Canada is just an extension of America. And where does America go back to? It goes back to Sodom, it goes back to Egypt, it goes back to Rome, and it goes back to Babylon, man. So that makes Canada an extension of all those ancient kingdoms in the spirit too. And you're seeing it play out. So it says, replacing cash with digital dollar would pose a grave threat to our rights and freedoms. I'm not going to read the whole article, but for any of you that want to read the article, the link will be in the description. This was posted last Sunday. And it says, the Bank of Canada has made no secret of its efforts to explore a central bank digital currency, CBDC, a digital dollar issued and controlled by the central bank. The Bank of Canada is not alone. To date, 134 countries and currency unions have explored a CBDC, and 66 countries are already in advanced stages of implementation. That's true. It's true. Countries like China, they're in advanced stages. Switzerland, right? Switzerland, especially Switzerland, man. Switzerland has the RFID technology, cashless payments too. So anyways, man, it says in 2023, cash accounted for a mere 11% of total payments made by Canadians. Consumers increasingly tap their credit and debit cards at checkouts, send e-transfers, or use online banking to pay bills, make investments, and donate to charities. And true, I even catch myself doing that. Sending a lot of e-transfers. I do a majority of my banking online through my phone. I rarely go to the bank. Man. And when I do go to the bank, it's really just to go to the ATM machine to withdraw or to deposit money. But all other banking stuff, it's either done on my phone or I call the bank and they fix everything. Sending e-transfers, that's right. Debit cards, going to checkout lines, I use that. Even going to the self-checkout machines as well. Because some of them don't accept cash. They only accept card. I believe Walmart's one of them too. Walmart doesn't accept cash. They do have a separate station in the self-checkout area where an attendant stands there. If you do have cash, right, then you can pay there. But that's just one station. So they're getting rid of cash for real. So it says, make investments and donate to charities. For many Canadians, metal coins function less like a currency and more like a locker or a shopping cart token. That's true. You only carry change around because you want to get a shopping cart, or you want to go to the gas station and put air in your tire, or to use the vacuum station, the vacuum cleaning station to vacuum out your car. That's the only time I really I see people, including myself, use coins. And even then, you know, they have a place where you can tap your card on those machines, so you don't even have to use coins. So the infrastructure is already here. Obviously, it's been here from time. But now what we're waiting for is to see if it's going to become mandatory. And it is. It's right around the corner. So it says here, paper bills are for birthday cards, not for serious transactions. You hear that? Serious transactions. It's just like whatever. Cash is just like whatever anymore. And it says new legislation in Quebec, which that's the French province, French-speaking province, Quebec. New legislation in Quebec empowers law enforcement to presume that cash sums of $2,000 or more are the proceeds of unlawful activity. So now over here in Canada, in the province of Quebec, they can deem it unlawful activity if you're spending $2,000 and more in cash. Okay, they can deem that as unlawful activity, which I understand why too. Right, I understand why too. That, you know, Quebec is a very demonic province, and there's a lot of crime going on in that province. You got the mafia over there, and you got a lot of like gangs, especially like Haitian mafia too, Haitian gangs. You got a lot of bikers over there too. That province is very dirty, man. Very dirty. Got the Italian mob over there too. But anyways, man, it's still bringing forth this system. You know, it's about that system being brought forth. More control, the MOTB. Right, that's the bigger picture. So it says, while most consumers seem to appreciate the convenience of an increasingly digital economy, CBDC is a radical change from using credit cards and online banking apps. A CBDC would likely lead to a cashless economy in which all financial transactions can be monitored and controlled by government. A cashless economy would create severe hardship for people who are homeless, technologically illiterate, or without ready access to the internet. And I believe that falls along the lines of blockchains too being used, because on a blockchain, that information is always going to be there. So it's not as private as cash would be, because with cash, it comes with some privacy. You can't really follow the paper trail as you are to be able to follow it going cashless or digital. So yeah, you know, it's true. Pretty much that's taking away your rights and freedoms. It's taking away your privacy and your security. But it says here, a cashless economy would create severe hardship for people who are homeless, technologically illiterate, or without ready access to the internet. For Canadians who look after their finances electronically, cash remains essential to protect their rights and freedoms, including their privacy, security, and autonomy. In a cashless economy, all transactions are digital, subject to surveillance, and ultimately subject to government control. CBDC opens the door for governments to reward or penalize Canadians for their personal choices on how to live, where to go, and what to do with their own money. That's right. That's right, man. You're just cattle, man. Goyim. And what do you do with goyim? What do you do with cattle? You herd them. You herd them. And that's what they're going to do with you. So this is more centralized control. Centralized control at its finest. So that's why they want to bring forth the MARK. Let me get this. This is Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High. Yeah, and people are going to die for this truth. You men that are in the faith, men, women, and children as well. Right? But mainly you men. That's the Lord's tabernacle. Yeah, man, because you follow the Lamb whatsoever it goeth, right? So you're gonna die, man. You will get your head chopped off, and they're gonna bring the guillotines. Now, why are they chopping off your head? Why are they putting your head on the guillotine? Because you denied this world, and you denied the mark, and you didn't worship the beast and the system. So it says, and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image. You know, you didn't want to do things like the Romans. You're not into the Romanized way of doing things. You're not interested in the system. You're not interested in their mark, right? So it says neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. That's right. You denied the chip. You didn't take it, and you stood strong. You stood tall. And they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years. And that's going to play out in the kingdom. Hold on for a second. Come on in. All right. Right? So this 1,000 years is talking about the kingdom of heaven. And the thrones represent Israelites ruling in the kingdom of heaven right along with Yahushua. But in order for you to get to that point, you have to pass the test, which is denying the mark and not bowing down to the beast system and worshiping it. Now, let me see if I can find something here. This is Matthew chapter 19, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, by the way, Peter in the spirit is King David. Right, King David. And yes, King David. Give me 1 second. Yeah, and King David is going to have a throne too. He's going to be under Yahushua, and he's going to be over the other 11 that are with him, which in total that's 12. That makes up 12 kings, which includes King David. All right, so I believe that's found in Psalms 122 as well. So anyways, it says here, then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? What's our reward? We have forsaken all. We have denied this world. We have lost homes. We have lost family. So what's our reward? What are we going to get? Verse 28, and it says, and Yahushua said unto him, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, he also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And that regeneration is really going into reincarnation, because it just simply means coming back in the genes. Back in the genes. That's you coming back through your sons and your sons' sons' sons down the line, right? So this is really talking about the future. It's going to play out. So it says, judging the 12 tribes of Israel, verse 29, and everyone that hath forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. That's true, man. So yeah, you're gonna lose things, man. If you deny this world, you're gonna lose jobs. You're gonna lose houses. You're gonna lose family members, of course. You're gonna lose your wife, your children, lands, properties, whatever you own, money. Right? Especially when you deny the mark. Give me 1 second. All right, so yes, you're going to have to forsake a lot of things. You're going to lose things. And especially when that test comes, which is the MOTB, you taking that mark, right? Or you denying that mark. That's what I want to say. You're going to lose things. You may even lose your life. But you're going to inherit everlasting life, man. If you stand strong. You stand tall, man. Right, so yes, you may have to lose your life. You're gonna lose people. Hey, man, your family members might take the chip. Some of them. That includes your wife, your kids. You can't keep your homes or your lands if you don't have the chip or the MOTB. So you're gonna lose things, but you're gonna receive greater things in the kingdom, man. That's right, everlasting life. You're never going to die. Verse 30, but many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. That's right. And many people are first right now, the ones that are in the world, and that the ones that go down to Egypt for a covering, they're first right now. They're going to be last in the kingdom. And the ones that are last right now, that have forsaken the world, they're not following the ways of this world, following the ways of the so-called white man, especially. You're last right now, but in the kingdom, you're going to be first. Because you're following the Lord right now. Right? So, before honor cometh humility. Right now we're being humiliated, but we're going to be honored in the kingdom. Especially if we pass the test. and we stay obedient to Yahweh Shem Yoshai to the very end. Now this is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Right? There you go. Now also, before I move on, going into the 1,000 years, I want to bring out Revelation 5. Revelation chapter 5, verse 9 to 10. It says, And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain, and hast redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. Yes, and that's talking about Yahushua. That's what he did. And he redeemed us. He bought us back, through his blood. Now we're a part of the adoption now. We're adopted. We're the sons of the Most High again. Right? He died for our sins. And because of that, we have gotten the victory. That's why we're going to be sitting on thrones as well. And it says, and hath made us unto our power kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. And that's going to play out in the future. Kings and priests. And we're going to reign. And that's going into that 1,000 years. 1,000 years. And after them 1,000 years, you just get translated. You just go back up to the Heavenly Father, and then you just come back down. But you're never going to die, man. That's serious. So now we just got to go through all of this stuff. It has to play out. The prophecies have to play out. Once we go through it, we're going to get the victory. We're going to win. All right. So everything was already written that as Israelites, we're going to come out successful and victorious. We just have to go through it now and have faith, man. So this is, that's all I got from there. I'm done here. I'm done with this. And I just want to read this one. Same website. It says, how much gold is supposedly in Fort Knox? It says, U.S. President Donald Trump has promised to visit Fort Knox to make sure the gold is there. Officially, the United States Bullion Depository, commonly known as Fort Knox, holds over half of the treasuries, $428 billion of gold reserves. $1 billion of gold reserves. In this graphic, visual capitalist Bruno Venditti puts that amount into perspective by comparing Fort Knox reserves with central bank gold reserves worldwide. Who knows if this is even the official number, because there's a lot of money that they don't have. There's a lot of money that's off the records. There's a lot of things they don't tell you. There's a lot of things that are not written on paper. And I don't think all this money is even in there. I don't think it's probably stolen. You know how greedy these elites are. They found some way to go in there and take it all. I don't even believe all of this stuff is in there. But from what we see, you have to believe it. It is. Or who knows, they're hiding more. Right? They're hiding more, right? But yeah, when you compare it to the other nations' reserves, this is what you see, man. And they're rich. America is the place to be at. And that's why all nations come to the horde to make money, man. Right? So, it says here, what is Fort Knox? I'll read this. The data comes from the U.S. Mint and the World Gold Council. For illustrative purposes, we consider a pallet of 1,190 gold bars, 400 troy ounces each, weighing approximately 14.8 tons. Right, so I believe that's what they're talking about here. One pallet. It's a lot. Located in Kentucky, Fort Knox is a U.S. Army installation that serves as the primary storage site for America's gold reserves. The facility was established in the 1930s to protect gold from potential foreign attacks. The first gold shipment arrived in 1937 via U.S. mail from the Philadelphia Mint and the New York Assay Office. During World War II, Fort Knox safeguarded important U.S. documents, including the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. It has also housed international treasures such as the Magna Carta, the crown, sword, scepter, orb, and cape of St. Stephen, King of Hungary, before they were returned in 1978. Currently, it holds 4,175 tons of gold, equivalent to nearly half of China's gold reserves, and 4 times the Swiss central bank reserves. And these are the stats here. Right, you can look it up yourself. But who knows? if all that money, really, I believe this money belongs to the American people, so-called anyway. That's what they like to say, whatever that means. But in my opinion, I don't think this money's in there. I don't think all of this money's in there. I think maybe a little bit. It's been a long time, but anyway, that's just me talking. That's not a fact, but let me just get this. This is Revelation chapter 18, verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of the fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And this shows you how rich the United States is. How powerful they are, how much wealth they have. Which this is stolen riches, by the way. How'd they get this money? They stole it. But that's why everybody talking about these other nations, they want to come here and do business, because this is the place to be at, man. Because you can get rich. And this just shows, man. The gold in Fort Knox. Gold reserves. Comparing this to the other nations. Look at this, man. They have a lot. Okay, look at that. So it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Yeah, and this shows you her sins. Because what did they have to do to get this money, man? They had to put you Jakes in slavery over the years, or they had to treat our people bad, even though this was built after slavery. I'm just saying, how did they get so powerful? How were they able to do all this stuff? Because they had to destroy Jake, destroy the Israelites, destroy you Gadites. They had to destroy these other nations. They had to rape, rob, and murder. And they had to steal, man. Like I said, rape, rob, They had to steal. They had to shed blood. And isn't that how Esau lives? He lives with the sword. And one of his blessings is the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth. So how does he get all those things, man? He does it by hurting people, by killing people, bloodshed, violence. Now it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of us. And really, that's our people, right? We're going to actually be physically delivered out of this place. But before that happens, you got to come out of this place spiritually. You got to depart from this place. And this place is going to receive a lot of plagues. That major plague being thermonuclear destruction. The Lord is getting ready to destroy this place and take it out. Verse 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. Man, this shows you how much sin America has. Look at all this money. Stolen riches. This shows you their iniquity. Because this is all a false balance, man. All of this money is a false balance. All of this was stolen. This was done by usury, theft, you name it. Right? Now, it says here, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, in the cup which she hath filled to her double. That's right. Verse 7, how much she hath glorified herself, and lived deliciously. See, this is delicious, man. Look at that. China has like half of that. And look at all these other nations, man. And these countries, man, they live off these nations. They do, especially China. And Japan at one point, especially back, I believe, in the 80s. I think it was 70s or 80s. I believe it was 80s. But yeah, at one point was Japan too. They got a lot of goods from Japan. But yeah, man, they live deliciously. Right? They live good. They consume everything and then they get rich. All right, so, and live deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Yeah, and they believe that they're going to rule forever. And they're going to keep all them riches. No, you're really storing them riches up for the Israelites. You're going to have to give back all this gold, man, that you stole. Riches are just translated from one kingdom to another, man. Riches are never lost. That starts with you elites, man. And you high top ranking officials, man. You got to give all that money back. You're going to have to give it back to our Lord. Yahushua and his people. Hey, that's what you people did when we left Egypt. The Lord put the spirit on you, you Egyptians, to give us money and to do well with us. And you know why? Because of our power. Our power did that, man, because our power put you through hell. And he's about to put you through hell again. And you're going to have to give them riches back. You're going to have to pay, man. You're going to have to give them riches, and then you're going to have to go into slavery. You're not going to escape, man. Think you're going to escape? You damn devils. Yeah, verse 8. Last verse. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. There you go, man. Burnt with fire. Yeah, man. And that fire is going to come from the beast and the 10 horns in these different nations that you have fornicated with and made them angry. Just like what you're doing now. Putting tariffs on people, man. That's what Donald Trump's doing. Putting tariffs. 25% tariff. Taxes, man. Ruling the nations in anger. Yeah, man. Talking down to these other nations. Showing that stout. Yeah, you're going to have to pay for that too. Now this is James chapter 5 verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. That's right. This shows corruption too. Now it says here, extreme security. Let me just read the rest of it. Might as well. It's a small little read. Might as well. Only a select few know the full security procedures, and no single person knows how to fully open the vault. So who knows what's in that vault? Who knows? So who's the guy behind it? So who knows? In 1974, a group of journalists and congressional delegation were allowed inside, making the first official visit since Fort Knox creation. Previously, President Franklin D. Roosevelt was the only person other than authorized personnel to access the vaults. In 2017, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin, and several congressional representatives became the second group to visit the vault. If gold was shared equally, how much would you get? And they're never going to share that because they're greedy. But yeah, you know that's corrupt. It's corrupt. It's all corruption. All this stuff is corrupt, man. Corrupt riches, theft. And your garments are moth-eaten, your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. And that's what we see here. Heap treasures together for the last days, man. And all the other treasures we don't know about. This is just what they're telling us. Verse 4, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. That's right. And who are the laborers? Who are the people that reap down your fields? It's really talking about the Israelites, man. It says, which of you kept back by fraud, and fraud is theft, usury, right? Diverse weights. That's how you get your money. That's how you make a lot of money. And the Israelites, they're crying, man, and the Lord is hearing them, and He's really hearing the elect. The elect is crying. They're groaning and moping, man. And the Lord's hearing, and He's about to come back, and He's about to enter into the house of the thief. Spoken of in, I believe, Zechariah the 5th chapter, man. Because this is the land of the thief, isn't it? See if I can get that. I don't think it's thief. Hold on, Zechariah. Hold on. I think it's Zechariah 5. Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. It says here. Yeah, I just spelled it wrong by accident. Oh, I spelled it wrong by accident. Slocky. I put E. I put E instead of I. My bad. But yeah, it says Zechariah chapter 5 and 4. It says, I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. There you go. So really, this is the house of the thief, and the Lord of armies, the Lord of Sabaoth, is gonna enter into this house. And he's going to destroy this place and consume it. Okay? Consume it. And just to get that. Now it says, verse 5, ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. You see, so this is going into the rich man, and this is what they've done. They've lived in pleasure on the earth their whole lives, been wanton, take and take and take, steal and steal and steal, not replenish, not give back. And they nourished their hearts in the day of slaughter. And they were happy to kill people. And all that money you see is blood money. It's blood money. And that's the American way, man. That's the American way of doing things. And it's not going to change until the Lord comes back. It's not going to change. All right, so that's it. Until next time, I just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh Bahashem Yoshai, Bahashem Rakah HaChodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of GMS that do rule well and that do teach well and that have taught me this truth to you. I say shalom. And shalom unto the hopeful like Kwame Ashala and above all. Shalom.